What's up, guys? Dylon here, and today I'm going to talk about the 5 things I can't wait to see on the Vitruvian in the future, or the 5 things I wish Vitruvian had right now, but I understand that the Vitruvian is great as it is, and it's going to be better in the future when they incorporate these 5 things. So, like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into this video. So, the number one thing that is not on the list that you guys might have thought I'd put it on the list is something to do lat pull downs and back exercises. And so I'm just gonna get that out of the way right now. Is that'd be great, okay? But I can hit my back pretty darn well in the Vitruvian as it is. You gotta get a little bit creative or just with your positions, and I made a video on that. Or just change up the exercises you're doing for your back, or just do more pull-ups. But I've been able to work my back really well with the Vitruvian, and I guess I'm not an obsessive back person. I do more legs, but I get enough back workout with doing just the single arm rows. The exercises that Vitruvian can do just fine. I don't need a whole new contraption, and they definitely do not mount your Vitruvian on the ceiling above you. Don't do that. I've had people say that in the comments. Just don't do that. It's not a good idea. The thing's 85 pounds. It's not meant for that. Just don't do that. Maybe they'll add something in the future. I think that'd be cool, but it just didn't crack the top 5. So the first thing that I want to have in the Vitruvian in the future is just more refined exercise specific calibration in terms of when the weight loads and when it unloads. So a really good example is if you're doing shrugs, because right now the Vitruvian has, from my perspective of using it, a kind of generic loading and unloading of the tension on the bars depending on the exercise. Generally, it stays loaded when the cable is extended at the top of the movement, and unloads when the cable is lowered at the bottom of the movement. And it uses the bottom as closer to the machine, the top as further away from the machine. Well, with something like shrugs, for example, you're not really putting the weight up over your head, and your range of motion is so small. And this also goes for like calf raises. And a problem that I've run into for shrugs is that when you calibrate it, you do your 3 calibration reps, and you're holding the weight at your sides or down low if you're using the barbell. You do your shrug, which is just like a few inches, it's not going up very far. But when you lower it down, if you hold it at the bottom for too long, Vitruvian starts taking weight off, and annoying, throws off the workout. What I'd prefer for something like shrugs or calf raises or something like that is have it built in for specific exercises where you need to do a more significant change in the level of the weight for it to start unloading. Say you have 50 pounds. And like, just imagine yourself with dumbbells, 2 dumbbells in your hands, you're doing dumbbell shrug. In order to deload the weight for the dumbbells, you drop them or you lower them down. So instead of having the weight start going down when you're at the very bottom of your movement, maybe add like an extra 6 inches there. So you need to lower the weight an extra 6 inches. And for shrugs, it's like you bend your knees a little bit, okay? And then the weight starts to go off. That way, what can happen is you can load the weight up, your calibration reps, but you could hold the weight at the bottom of that rep for maybe a rest for a second or to reposition yourself, make sure your shoulder blades are in position. You can hold the weight at the bottom of that rep for as long as you want to do that without unloading. You can time your shrugs a little bit better, and you have that smoother, more even weight distribution throughout your reps. That would be cool. And so if they could look at all the different exercises and apply that to, and of course, make sure it's safe, that'd be fantastic. And that'd be an upgrade that I think would be amazing. This would also come into play in something like squats, even. Sometimes you want to sit at the bottom of a squat for a little bit longer. And now you have to be careful with this because you don't want someone getting squished or pinned or anything like that. So that might be a little bit tougher because the weight is on your back, and exercise where the weight is on your shoulders at the bottom of the movement. It becomes more of a safety issue. If it's in your hands, it still is, but it's a little bit less of a safety issue. But sometimes it's nice to sit down real low in those squats. And that's something you can do with traditional barbells, but you can't really do with the Vitruvian because if you sit down at the bottom for too long, it starts to unload the weight. So maybe there's a calibration they could apply to the machine. Maybe there's a weight limit there, a certain specific type of exercise, like a squat variation, where you can hold it and it just holds it for a certain amount of time within that range. It could get complex on the programming side, but that'd be cool if they could add something like that in for squats. It's more important for things like calf raises and shrugs and exercises like that. Something like that would be cool. So that's number 1. Okay, you can tell I thought a lot about that one, and I just got done doing some shrugs, and it'd be useful for that. Then the next thing would be a direct fitness tracker integration. So this would be pretty cool if it directly integrated with things like the Whoop, stuff like that, to where your workout data and your feedback from the machine goes directly to that. It has some of that, but it'd be cool if you had more integrations with the Vitruvian just in general. I think that'd be pretty neat. Again, it's a smaller company, and so with smaller companies, they just have less like support for those integrations. But as you go forward, it'd be cool to get more data pulled from those exercises to where you can easily integrate with cool, just any sort of fitness tracker or any sort of sports analytics software. Very, very cool to have that with the Vitruvian. The third thing, and these, by the way, aren't any like particular order. They're just 5 things that I thought about that I'd be like, this would be cool to have. The third thing is a Vitruvian HD. This Vitruvian, I think, is like Vitruvian sleek. Like this thing's super sleek. It's nice, but I actually like taking mine outside on my back patio, and I don't leave it out in the rain. I don't expect the Vitruvian to be waterproof at any point in time. That's not what I'm asking for here. It'd be cool if they did that in the future. But I have a concrete patio, and it has this nice carbon fiber finish on the machine. It's kind of carbon fiber, plasticky for the machine. It'd be cool if they rubberized all the edges of the Vitruvian with a nice, like, durable rubber. It might add some pounds, but that way I could take it inside and outside. I don't have to worry about scratching the machine or even feeling like sometimes feel like the side covers are a little flimsy on the machine, that I could actually pull it off when I'm moving the machine around. And because it's portable, and that's a really good selling point of this, just making it a little more durable, or like an HD version of it, would be cool. Like even if they charge $500 more to have the rubberized HD version, would be great, because it just would be a little bit more durable. Mazda has the CX-5, and then they created the CX-50, which is the off-road version of the CX-5. A lot of companies have like their on-road vehicle, like Ford has the F-150, and then they have the Raptor. So it'd be cool if they did that with the Vitruvian, and it'd be also cool with the Vitruvian HD if potentially they have higher weight with it. Maybe there are a few other upgrades that you might have. Maybe it's more for the power user of it. So that'd be cool if they had a Vitruvian HD version. But we can only dream. I think it's great as it is. These are just my hopes and dreams for the future. Number 4 is AI integration. So more AI integration. So I know they use some advanced algorithms and potential some AI or machine learning algorithms to just control the machine in general, so it adapts and adjusts to you. But this is going back to like direct fitness tracker integration, the number 2 thing. But AI integration, so this would be cool if they build in just more of the artificial intelligence stuff that we're seeing all over the place. So something like even like workout feedback, okay? So you can get feedback in your workout directly. So you basically have an AI coach within. So say, for example, you're doing one of my favorites, the 5 sets of 6 reps of squats at 350 pounds or whatever. And it notices that you're going down faster. You're not holding the weight steady. And so Vitruvian's unloading the weight and notices you're doing that more consistently. So it could give you feedback either to adjust the weight or slow down your pacing on that workout. And it can also give you a breakdown afterwards. I think that'd be pretty cool if you had that using the AI, an easy report. I know it gives you some reporting in the app, which is neat, but an interface, a reporting interface for this. Again, it probably goes back to that fitness tracker integration thing. So you can get a report on how you performed during your sets. And then the cool thing, this is like the next advanced step of this, is that you could then get feedback on how to improve and perhaps even customized workout recommendations. Not only if you have specific goals, if you're like, hey, I want to do snowboarding this year and get fit for snowboarding, give me customized workouts for snowboarding, but also customized workout recommendations and weight kind of programs like you would from a physical therapist, where you could say, hey, I'm trying to rehab my shoulder, rehab my knee, rehab my elbow, whatever it is, and it can monitor how you do certain workouts and then give you certain types of rehab style workouts based upon your own performance, which would be pretty cool. But also you could say, hey, look, I'm looking to get better squats, right? Get better at squats. And so it could analyze your squats and look at your range of motion, the amount of force and power you're putting out throughout that range of motion, and then give you different workouts to help better facilitate that or better help you accomplish that goal. For example, let's say you're doing squats and you don't go down far enough. I know this is a problem for me. Like I don't go ass to grass. I could probably drop my butt even lower on my squats. And sometimes it's a biological thing. Like the way your skeleton is shaped and your body is shaped, it doesn't allow you to go down that low. But say you wanted to go lower into squats, and it could analyze your squat and see where you're the weakest and could design custom workouts to work that zone and help you practice, and then using the data and feedback from your workouts to help you progress so that's no longer a weak part of your squat. I think that'd be really cool if they could build that in. Now, it's advanced stuff, but in the next 5 years, even 3 years, that type of stuff is probably going to be available. And Vitruvian definitely has the platform to integrate some of that stuff. So it'd be pretty neat if they did that. And then this is the final thing, and it's a gimmick, but also like, it would be cool if it had a third cable. One problem that I have with the Vitruvian is if you do like a sumo squat, or you're doing sumo deadlifts, you got the cables on either side. You can't necessarily get your feet in the position that you want. But if you had a cable right in the middle of it, maybe a little offset, you could hook the barbell to it and or a different type of attachment, and you can do your sumo deadlifts from that middle cable, but have your stance as wide, be able to get your stance a little bit wider. So that'd be pretty neat to be able to do that. Potentially they could position the cable so you can do a couple of different types of exercises, things like that. I think it's like the Arena Fit. There's a machine out there that has just one cable in the middle. So potentially having an extra cable or extra cables would be neat. I think definitely the sumo deadlift is one that I like doing. I like mixing it up with the sumo deadlift versus the conventional deadlift. It just feels like the sumo deadlift targets my glutes a little bit better. But on the Vitruvian, it's just a little bit harder to do an effective sumo deadlift because I can't, at being 6 foot tall, it's not quite, the cables aren't quite far enough apart for me to have a wide enough stance for the machine. And then I got to watch the cables with my feet and everything. It's adequate. It's just not, it's not as good as it potentially could be, but it's adequate. It meets expectations. I'm not like disappointed with it, but maybe a third cable or something could be interesting. So anyways, those are the 5 things. So just a quick recap of the 5 things. The one that didn't make the list is a rack for doing more back exercises, more back specific stuff for rows and pull downs. I think they were designing one. That didn't quite make the list, but it would be cool. That's just another thing to buy though. I think the Vitruvian is sufficient and hits the back just fine. But number 1 is exercise specific calibration, specific for like shrugs and calf raises and potentially even at the bottom of squats. Direct fitness tracker integration, so being able to better integrate with fitness trackers and other types of APIs out there. Number 3 is a Vitruvian HD, just more like durable edges on it, and potentially one that allows more weight, more resistance to be on the machine for power users or bigger people that are just bigger and heavier. That'd be pretty cool. Because I did have someone ask about being like they were like 320 pounds and they're pushing up against that weight limit. So for heavier people, having a Vitruvian HD could be really cool. And then AI integrations just for customized workout feedback, potentially rehab programs, exercise feedback, just customized workout to help you achieve your goals based upon the data it collects from your movements within the machine. Just more fine-tuned there would be really neat. And then the 5th one is a third cable, right? Just for certain exercises where that might be useful. And of course, the attachments that would better make use of that third cable. I think that'd be pretty cool. That's it for my 5 things that I can't wait to see on the Vitruvian in the future. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, if there's things that I should have included on this list that I left out. And of course, if you want to support the channel, use code DBStrong if you order a Vitruvian for $100 off, or click one of the affiliate links below to help support the channel. And so that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.